Hello everybody, welcome back as we continue our Johnnykin journey. So let's carry on with the butterfly, shall we? The butterfly look, that is. If a butterfly sit on your hand, you'll be the luckiest in the land on a Sunday. If a butterfly sit on your hand, a handsome girl you're sure to wed on a Monday. If a butterfly sit on your arm, no one will ever wish you harm. That is also on a Sunday. If a butterfly sit on your thumb, a good luck is coming or soon to come. Again, on a Monday. If a butterfly sit on your wrist, a pretty girl waits and meets to be kissed. Sunday. If a butterfly touch you with its wing, it's a sign you will have a diamond ring on a Monday. If a butterfly sit on your hat, you'll have a gift, and of gold at that, on a Sunday. If a butterfly come in your hall, your friends will great, your foes, well, they will be small. That's on a Monday. But if you harm a butterfly, for that you'll suffer before you die, on a Sunday or a Monday. Please read some more, said Johnnykin. Certainly. Here is the fish fortune. Actually, I do believe it's the fish fortune. Ah, yes. Yes, Sir Chesme Johnnykin, you are right. It's a fish fortune. I do apologise. When you're by the river, if you see a fish jumping from the water, you should make a wish. And if you can speak it before he's out of sight, the wish will all be granted that very day or night. And here is a spell by which very good children conjure the spirit of a star, the star charm. If you will take a looking glass and hold it to a star, and look again it at the light which comes from the heaven afar. While you are looking in the glass, if ever a word you speak, an angel will come down from heaven and kiss you on the cheek. Only you can't see her, you know, but sometimes you can just feel it on your cheek, like a little breeze. And then they say, whenever you find a very perfect little pebble, that is a fairy present. Listen, I'll tell you. Down in the pond where fishes dive, a little green fairy's all alive. There they swim and there they creep, down in the water ever so deep. There never were people half so neat. They scrub the rocks with hands and feet. They polish the stones, whatever they're found. And that's what makes the pebbles so very round. And when you walk by the water bright, and find a pebble round and white, you may see for yourself about fairies do, who placed it there as a present for you. Why are they so anxious to make presents to strangers? Asked Johnnykin. Because if they can only do anything for a real person or for a higher being of any kind, or even so much get noticed, the poor little things get on in the world as a bit, or at least remain as high as they are. After a while, when they get to the beings that can walk on land, they're allowed once a year or so a little holiday to be like real people, and oh, how they do enjoy it. Hear what my book says about the toads. Over the forest and far away, where the hills are green and the rocks are grey, there's a place only the fairies know, where once a year the toads all go. And there they are, changed to ladies fair, with great black eyes and curly hair, and have fawn skin dresses and silver rings, and coral beads and beautiful things. There they dance and there they play, where the hills are green and the rocks are grey. But it only lasts till there falls a rain, and they are all turned into toads once again. If you'll only repeat that poem to a toad, you can have no idea how charmed the poor thing will be. Here a murmur was heard just outside, and below their nest, as of voices of children playing merrily. They looked and saw Little Boy Blue, with several others, who had built or found a projecting ledge on the pillar, where they were busy at something which plainly gave them great delight. So, there's Willy Winky among them, said Chesme. He's my pet darling, and Little Boy Blue is Marjolaine's. Come up, Willy. Saying this, she reached over and hauled in a darling little boy, about 3 years old, who had nothing on but his nightgown. Johnnykin thought he'd never seen such a pretty little fellow. Well, Willy, said Chesme, what are you little ones doing? We're dotting pieces of dough out kitchen, said Willy, and we've dotted board and Tom Sum and Tittle Boy Boo are cutting. It'll cool children out on the board. It'll boys and girls, and it'll Miss Muffet makes 'em alive. So say I can talk, and it'll Bo Peep as Dot a white horse on she turned. Worse leaves into it'll cool books and pinners for the children, and my children know their letters already as far as F. But why do you keep them all on the board? Asked Johnnykin. Little Willy looked up with a droll glance. That's our coal board. If we didn't have a coal board, children wouldn't mind their lessons. Please, let me go. And saying this, Willy did slide out of Chesme's lap and slipped off the edge in an instant. Was heard shouting gaily to his little 2-inch pupils, who were very restless, because Willy had given them figs and cakes to sit on, and these they kept slyly eating, notwithstanding his reproofs. How pretty Willy is, said Johnnykin. It will be a pity when he grows up. He'll never grow up, said Marjolaine. He's the eldest of all the goblins, for he is the spirit of baby talk, and baby talk, you know, came before fairy tales. Far away, down on the floor, Johnnykin saw seated in a ring a party of dim white creatures like clouds, without fixed shapes, yet each of them kept moving or rolling and curling all the while in such a way that in looking at it you saw or thought you saw a face or features changing into new ones, and its body or limbs passing into new forms. It was like looking at a figured curtain when the wind is blowing, one half is asleep, and fancying one sees it in lines, or flowers, or folds. Maybe stains, something like pictures and profiles. With Marjolaine's opera glass, he could see them very plainly, as they sat on the ground like a party of Arabs in accompaniment, and at last he began to observe them just as other people in talking move their features and make their gestures, so these wonderful cloudy things changed their entire faces and bodies to express their thoughts. Their talk was like telling a story with puppets, but without speaking. But all was quickly done. That it tired him to look at them. Who are they? Inquired. They are the absurd. Nobody knows anything about them. They're beyond everything and everybody. They sit there singing among themselves all the time, but nobody knows what. I do, said Charlie. I overheard some of their song once. It's as deep as a Devonshire lane and about as muddly. They call it the poetry of the future. This is a verse of it. Softly the vampire sang to the snail, you caught the nightmare, I held her tail. But while the beetle crowed on the post, deep in the greybeard, I drowned the ghost. That's horrid nonsense. You know that, said Chesme. But I'm sure it would be great, well, great deal more horrid, if the awful things were to explain it. Just as she said this, there came a soft swell of noise and music, and the voices of the absurd were distinctly heard. Greenly the wildfire opened his eyes, sang to the corpse light, come bake the pies. Head not the ghoul, love, trust not his smile. Out of the mosque, love, he stole the tile. And then a mysterious voice, which sounded as if the singer was nothing but a voice, made of melody and misery, sang, there's a red cloud on the mountain, which I know, but there's shadows in the fountain, which you know, but she in the palm rose up a psalm of the wandering Banjari. There are gold shells on the stand we may gather, but there's a bark inside the sand while you are at your play. And the cavern by the tavern with the starlight far away. And the waves are rolling on in the moonlight, but await the purple dawn from the islands, while we by the river sit and quiver at the lonely romance. Goodbye, said Charlie. That's enough for me. I'm off. And that's the end of this part, guys. We just met the Observes, I believe. Interesting name, interesting drab song. Wonder what it actually means. If anybody knows, do put it in the comments because I'd love to know. I really would. Anyway, thank you for listening to this episode. Join me next time for Charlie's Leap in Johnnykin and the Goblins.